Ego and pride aside. I know you, but I don't know you. You know you, but do you know you? Ego and pride aside. You know me, but you don't know me. I know me, but do I know me? Ego and pride aside. I know you when you don't know you. You know me.
I heard my son say this before. It's a different time, Dad. True indeed, everything is a different time as far as technology, but as far as when it comes to the basis of things,
history repeats itself.
100%.
100%.
And that's what you got to understand.
And what I found out a lot of times when they're feeding you like the youngsters, you know, times and change, the people that's controlling a lot of things, they're keeping it the same.
Yeah.
And they're keeping people spinning.
Yeah.
And you know, when you see you know, just when it comes to how does the connection take how does the connection piece play a part like in family reunions? Because you know that's a family reunion is something that where you have a place, a location, and a scenario that actually it is an event where you have all these intergenerational things.
Yeah.
Have you been to family reunions? What do you think that they serve a good purpose of bringing people together and respect and understanding? Is there?
I feel that they could be organized a lot better. Down south, the family reunions may be a little different. As far as up here, the family reunions that I went to, I seen a disconnect with the younger generation and the older generation. I seen everybody in their sections and so forth and so on. And I basically, because I got on the board, and I basically just said, just like this, man, this looked like more just a cookout where people just showing up to eat. I said, you have people walking by each other, not introducing one another, so forth and so on. So I feel that the older individuals that's older than me, we need to set something aside. And I thought about this. We need to set something aside to get a better plan or a better structure and have them give somewhat of a family tree, like a family tree history rundown on why each generation is here. And you know what I'm saying? From their parents to them to their kids and so forth and so on. Because I feel like once you start breaking something down, you don't have to go as far as over to Africa or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody's going to pay attention to that. Yeah. And I feel that it's all right for an individual in itself. If he want to explore that, he could do that. But as far as now, attention spans is not even that long these days.
You know, it's funny you said that because this whole podcast is about losing the disconnect, right? You'll find people, they get on that genealogy, whatever you call it, the connect, you know, where they get on that little DNA, they put the DNA, and they get to talk about they 30% Nigerian, 80% European, 40% European, but they won't put that same energy into knowing who their cousins is, who their relatives is, who their brothers-in-laws and their sisters-in-laws is. That's a good point right there. That's a good point.
So I just feel like you break it down to a point, you know what I'm saying, because you'll disconnect from a lot of people once you get to going too far away. It's just like even when we have history, right? When we talk about history. And I say that we need to structure a different type of history or Black History Month. It's not, I mean, you can give certain points of an individual, but the whole month doesn't have to be solely about what our people went through. We all understand what our people went through. You know what I mean? And then what I say is that's what sometimes creates that inner rage. You know what I mean? Because when I was younger, and they used to show us these videos of, you know, lynchings or when the black men at the time was getting spit on and slapped and whatever at the seats and things like that, it created me like an anger in me rather than just looking and observing and seeing what our people, because you think you want to, because you're not there at that time, so you thinking I'm gonna stand up and fight. It's just like when I was saying how people say, "Oh, if I was there back in these days, this is what I would have did."
No, that's like people go to the joint, they're like or something like that. Like, you don't know unless you go there.
Yeah, it's not.
Or you've been in that situation, that scenario.
It's not realistic.
It's not realistic.
So my thing, as far as like, a lot of youngsters, they're not thinking about where they come from, or they're not going as far as maybe their parents, because sometimes a lot of their grandparents in some situations are not even here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because
either they got, fortunately for me, I had my son at 35, but you got to think about it. My mom's 20 years older than me. Her parents is, 20, 30 years older than her. So sometimes they don't have just that family breakdown, because they haven't met them. So as of now, I want my son to where I had an issue at one point in time because kind of the relationship I had with my dad, my son said he would like to meet my dad. Mm-hmm. My first instinct was, hell no. But I thought about it. That's my own selfish reasons. You know what I mean? And I don't feel that anger toward my dad anymore anyways. So I said to myself, to give him that completeness or wholeness, because for him to ask that at a young age, and he asked this at a young age. He's 15, but he asked this at a young age. I feel like it would give him completeness. He knows my parents, which is my mom. He knows he knows his mom's dad. Her mom passed away while, you know what I'm saying, he was, in her stomach, but he got pictures of her, so forth and so on. But to have that completeness, and that it's like a fulfillment. It's just like when I was growing up and I should see all the dads at the football games and things like that. But my dad, my family wasn't even there. You know what I mean? So you just feel that disconnect. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I got in. You remember when you talk about affirmations? Yeah. I should say me against the world almost. Like how, for real. For real. It's me. For real. Yeah, it's me. You know what I'm saying? It's all about, you know what I'm saying? For real. That's deep. So that's where, because I basically always top tier. What I mean by top tier, I didn't really have nobody to go to. So I always came up with my solutions and everything myself. Yeah. You know what I mean? When people complained or whatever the case may be, I had to fall back, get within myself and say, this is what got to be done. You know what I mean? It's just like everything that basically took place in my life. You know what I mean? I came up with what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? I had that mentality to take things to where they needed to go in order for me to be here today. You know, so it's just that outlet. I didn't have no outlet. You know what I mean? So everybody came to me with their situations. Yeah. So I try to navigate them, fix them, so forth and so on. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm not God. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You be godly.
Yeah, you be godly, but I'm not God. Okay. You know what I'm saying? My mom even said that. Yeah. My mom said, I can't fix y'all's problems. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know? He ain't God. Yeah. You know what I mean? But, you know what I'm saying? That was a situation or a role that took place. But then once I got older, I looked at it and I said, man, I didn't have no outlets. I didn't have nobody to go to and say, hey, man, this is a situation and so forth and so on. You know what I mean? So I looked at it as, this is what, you know what I'm saying, I had to do. I had to think within my head. And if people know me, they say I do a lot of thinking. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I got to look at the best scenario that suits me in order for me to push forward. Like I always say, I always try to keep winding myself. Yeah. What I mean by that, keep pushing forward. You know what I mean? Top. But I know that with this whole topic here, there may possibly be a part 2, you know, or just another video on this, because this was just something for me and you just to kind of hit back on. Yeah, it was on your mind. Yeah, it was on my mind. Yeah, and we just came in here and just try to, you know what I'm saying, kind of put it together as far as with us communicating. Because like I said, we're not writing nothing down. We're just basically just coming fresh off the head. We're not going to cut nothing up. If with this video, you know what I'm saying, something offended somebody, it's not meant to do that. It's just us thinking, and would like some correctives as far as with the younger generation, and the older generation, because I feel that as men or just as individuals as a whole, we are one. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that, we're all human beings. For real. And we all need to get along in this world, you know what I'm saying, just to make things better for us and make things safer for us. Yeah, you know what I mean? Real. But if there's anything that you would like to add, because like I said, we may come back to this topic or we might just leave it here. But I just want to give people something to think about as far as the youngsters, as far as the older. And one of the things that I was saying before, if we're older than these individuals or these younger individuals, we have to, what people always say, act your age. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying act old, but we're supposed to be at a mature level to where they can look to us and say, if you're saying OG or older head or whatever it may be, they will look at you as a respectful figure rather than somebody that's on the same eye level as them. For real. But
I think you said enough. I think you nipped everything at the bud.
Man, well, we'll go ahead and close this out. Like I say, we may revisit this, we may not. But other than that, give us some thought, because we don't want that disconnect. We want that connect. But y'all be easy, man.
Be easy.
We're out of here. All right.
I know you, but I don't know you. You know you, but do you know you? Ego and pride aside. You know me, but you don't know me. I know me, but do I know me? Ego and pride aside. I know you when you don't know you. You know me and I don't know me. That voice in your head been heard for a long time. Artificially a mystery in your own mind. In the core which you always hit you with the calm trash. Developing the issue with some shit you could've walked past. All that wrong math, long ass idling. Tribal shit when your mind's your best survival kit. At war with yourself, arguing with the barber dude. You your own worst enemy, sabotaging you. Voices and choices, don't drink the poison. Poised and wise, defining your own ordinance. Boys to men coming into your own consciousness. Waking up, finding yourself finally on top of shit. Ego and pride aside. I know you, but I don't know you. You know you, but do you know you? Ego and pride aside. You know me, but you don't know me. I know me, but do I know me? Ego and pride aside. I know you and you don't know you. You know me and I don't know me. Ego and pride aside.